Welcome to another edition of Positively Douglasville. I feel so very blessed today, and I'm so proud to have my Senator Donzella James, in the studios with us today. So we're just going to have a great conversation. It's so much to talk about. I would advise you to just pull up a chair, get a cup of coffee, because this is a legend and an icon in the state of Georgia and really all over the world. So we're just excited, Senator James. Thank you for taking time out to come visit with me.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yes, ma'am. You are so beautiful on the inside and out.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So are you.
Thank you, thank you. So we're just going to jump right in. You're from Georgia.
Yes, I'm a Grady baby. I'm from Atlanta.
You're from Atlanta.
I'm third generation on my mom's side, second on my dad's side. So my mother and father were both born in Atlanta.
Wow.
My grandmother on my mom's side was also born in and then, of course, the rest of them behind there were Georgians.
Yes, ma'am.
We're still all from Georgia for as long as we could trace back.
Really? And Grady is like an iconic place, of course. That's the best place for trauma, best hospital in the state of Georgia, really. In Atlanta, especially. My husband's a Grady baby. He went to Fulton High School, the Redbirds.
Okay.
And so, you know, if I say to people, they look at me like, how long you been in Georgia? I only been here 22 years, and my husband's a Grady baby. They give me a pass. Because he was educated in Atlanta public school system and went to Georgia State. So
yeah, I'm a product of Atlanta public schools as well.
Yes, ma'am.
I went to Catholic school until the 10th grade. And then I went my 11th and 12th grade at Harper High School in Atlanta.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
And so I say I'm a product.
Yes, ma'am.
But I am, because my parents also were both with Atlanta public schools.
Really?
My dad, by the time I was in the 6th grade, he was a principal, and by the time I finished high school, he was in the area office, and my mother taught until she retired after 41 years.
41 years.
At the Atlanta Public Schools.
Oh, my goodness. And you were in Atlanta Public Schools, too, teaching.
I ended up, yes. You know, we always want to do what our parents do.
Yes, ma'am.
But when I got there, I said, oh, my God, what have I done?
Oh, my goodness.
So I had to get out immediately.
That's funny.
But I did work with, I wanted to work with adults.
Yes, ma'am.
So I went and started teaching adults.
Oh.
Because I feel that if you pay for your classes, area tech and places like that, then you want to get a good education.
That's right.
And you strive. You don't get in there and it's foolishness every day. When I was teaching high school, I said, oh, this is a nightmare. How did my parents do
Oh,
that?
my goodness.
And kids were worse than I had a new Cadillac. Oh, I was so proud of my Cadillac. Every other day, they would break the little thing, the emblem.
No way. Oh, they had them a nice charm, a necklace charm hanging down with that.
And I said, I'm not going to let them outdo me. I'll put another one on.
No, you didn't.
And then they break that.
Oh, no.
So after about 5 or 6, I said, okay, I want the one that sticks in on the, on the outside of the hood.
Okay.
And so they couldn't pull that one up. But I saw they were trying to pry it up.
Isn't that crazy? But did they start making them to go down like the Rolls Royce thing? Yeah, because people were taking them. Oh, my goodness. Well, my husband teaches at Douglas County High in the math department. He's been there about 4 years, 3 or 4 years. So I hear all the stories from the school.
Oh, yeah.
And the teenagers, the high schoolers. But my mother was an administrator for Head Start in Ohio. So she had the preschoolers and the little babies. So I like the little babies.
And my mother taught the little ones. And I should have taught the little ones, and maybe I would have stayed there. But I don't know how I made it 11 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
That's a long time.
Ooh-wee.
But I always say 11 years, 11 days, 11 hours.
No way.
I add every second.
Time. I know that's right. That's like the Army, when you count your days down, mark them on the calendar. No.
Right.
That's
My
cute.
husband was in the Army, too.
Oh, okay. The number Selma was in the Army. Very good. Now you've had so many lives.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, so many careers being a senator. But at first you were at Morris Brown College, that iconic AU Center.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and Maisha Good, a very good friend of mine, is on the board there now for
And
Morris
so
Brown.
am I.
Oh.
And Kimberly Alexander is a graduate and is now on the board.
Very good.
They added us a few years ago because we were bringing Morris Brown back.
Yes,
it never
ma'am.
closed.
Yes, ma'am.
But we're rebuilding it, and they're getting their accreditation back. So,
Oh, isn't that great?
yeah, my alma mater is
Yeah.
just number one in my life, and I want to do what I
Exactly.
can.
Very good. Well, thank you for that effort. That's really good. I'm glad to hear that. Now, I was talking about your life. So you, how many brothers and sisters?
I have 5 sisters and no brothers.
It's all girls.
It's all girls.
What the world?
And my mom is a size 3 little
Aw.
cutie pie like you.
Oh, thank you.
Nobody believes that she is 87
I've seen
years
pictures
old.
of her. Her skin.
Nobody believes it.
She is beautiful.
She had to. I told her. She said, "I don't dye my hair," and I said, "Yeah, because if you did, they really wouldn't believe you that age."
She is very, very pretty.
And she gets around well and wears high heels.
She's
and
87.
I know.
Wow.
And I took a picture of her the other day. She was dancing the electric slide and all of that at the Christmas party at the Quality Living Services Senior Center.
Are you serious?
Yes. So I said, "Look at my mother."
Oh
Let me
my
dance.
goodness! But you're from Atlanta, so she wasn't on a farm, right?
No.
Because usually people on the farm live a long time because they have their own food, no pesticides, and
But you know, my grandmother and my great grandmother, they had big houses in the city of Atlanta, but we had big backyards.
Yeah.
And I remember gardens.
oh yeah,
And the peach tree and the pecan tree and right now that house is worth a lot of money. When my grandmother died, they left it to my mom, and it was like the muddy house on
Yes.
Tyler
Oh,
Perry.
fun. Yes,
And so
ma'am.
we would go over, and somebody would cook every Sunday, or at least one Sunday out of every month. And then my mother, it became too hard for her to keep
Yeah.
her house and that house. And she sold it.
she did.
She sold the muddy house.
Well, you can still drive by it, maybe, and remember.
I do, and then I look at
Yeah.
that neighborhood, and it has accelerated. It's near downtown Atlanta. It's near the Atlanta Medical Center Boulevard.
Yes, ma'am.
And it was a big, big house anyway. So
Wow.
now people are paying like $500,000
That's what
and
I
prices like that.
understand.
And I said, "Oh my God,
Can
that's
you
my
believe
house.
that? Can
Mama,
you
why didn't you keep it 2 more years?
I
3 more
know
years?"
it. Well, Brian Fortner, I had the DA in a couple of months ago, and he said the same thing. He grew up near Grant Park.
Oh, yes.
And he said he rode by his house. He said, Rochelle, that little house we had, and his wasn't large, with his grandmother and mother, he grew up with them together. He said they stuck something on top, and now the house is like $300,000 or $500,000
Yes, isn't that
in Grant
something?
Park. He said that house. I'm like, oh my goodness.
The prices
But-
have escalated.
Yes.
And one of our relatives that died and left my sister and I his house in Edgewood.
Oh yeah, Edgewood.
But it
is
was a
gone.
nice little house, and it was a little house.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe the price of it was about as much as my house out here.
Wow.
And my house is much, much larger than that little house.
Location.
But-
That's exciting, Atlanta, because so goes Atlanta, so goes the region, really.
Yes.
So when they do really well, it spreads out to Douglas County and DeKalb and Clayton
Exactly.
and Gwinnett and Cobb. So it's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a very good thing.
Most
I'm
of the
proud.
time. Every now and then
Well, we
I
don't
see
even know.
horror stories, but
Yeah.
basically it's pretty
It's
good.
good. So I said that about your family because I know you grew up Catholic and you said you were in Catholic school until the 10th grade.
Yes, yes. I went all my life, and then I was going to a high school. It was Drexel High School, which was a black Catholic high school. But nobody had to go to black or white schools anymore. You could go to any Catholic school by the time I was that age. So most of the people would not go into their community school or to the black Catholic high school.
Oh.
And so it was going bankrupt.
Oh.
So they closed it and sold it to Atlanta Public Schools, and it's a very nice school right next to St. Paul of the Cross Church.
Okay.
Where I grew up too.
Very good. Very good.
So yeah, I stayed there for a long time, but I'm a world changer now.
All right now, Pastor Creflo Dollar.
Yes.
That's a preacher and a teacher.
Oh yes, he
and
is.
his wife.
Oh,
First Lady
Pastor
Taffy. Isn't she
Taffy.
great?
She is great and beautiful. She's
Yes,
one
she
of those
is.
inside out beauty.
Yes,
You know,
ma'am.
she can tell you, preach the word. I love
Yes,
it.
she can.
I saw her grow into
Wow.
into that. God called her.
Yes, he has. They're a dynamic duo and making great strides for the kingdom of God. It's just wonderful.
And helping people in the community, and people,
Yes.
other people don't know it. They just see certain things. So it's so unfortunate that they have misdirected the real Pastor Creflo Dollar
That's right.
and Pastor Taffy.
Yeah, and if you look at them, it's holistic. The ministry is holistic.
And I love it. I go
That's
to Bible
good.
study and
Oh, my
make
goodness.
sure that if I can't go to service on Sunday, then I'm on Saturday. I go
Yes.
to service.
Oh, wow.
I make sure I go.
So they offer
get the
Saturday
word.
as also.
They have Saturday evening mass.
Very good.
I mean, not mass, but service. I'm so used to
The
being a
mass.
Catholic.
Yeah.
But I never stopped going to Catholic mass either. Especially when my dad died last Christmas. He wasn't sick or anything. He was a strong man, and he was putting up Christmas decorations. It started raining. He had hired some guys to help him in the yard, so he was trying to finish up. And they stayed out in the rain. He got soaking
kinda
wet.
cold.
Ended up catching double pneumonia.
Oh, my goodness.
So he went to heaven.
Yeah.
And my mom, so she needed, we had to give her love.
Yeah.
And so I used that time on Saturday to take her
To mass.
4 o'clock mass, and then get her home, and then rush to World
Ooh-wee.
Changers.
So you getting Jesus all around.
I'm telling you, I
Mary,
needed
Mother
to. We have to be grounded.
Oh, I know that's right. Oh, you can tell. You can tell your family is, your roots are really strong and supportive. It makes you stand up a little bit taller, and you're confident in who you are, because to be a leader in the position that you're in, you have to be. And so God
Yes.
called you, but it's a blessing. You can see that your family is in you everywhere you go. Yes, ma'am.
And I call myself a sanctified Catholic. Because when we were little, we would go to Catholic early mass,
Yes,
and then my grandmother and everyone was at Big Bethel AME.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we had to walk down the street and meet them and my mom.
Big Bethel.
So
oh my
we
gosh.
got
Iconic.
we would stop first at Ebenezer Baptist Church.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And Daddy King was there
Come
then,
on
and
now,
we
you
knew when the
just-
sun was there, because on the days that the sun was in town and preaching, it was cars everywhere. And in those
Really?
days, everybody didn't have a car in the family. Maybe one family had one car or something. So when you
Wow.
saw the cars, you knew. To us, though, it was cookies and punch in Sunday school, and so we would go sneak in.
Oh, my
and then,
goodness.
But we always saw the man,
really?
the king,
Martin?
Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Wow.
He was a friend of my mother's. They had grown up together,
Wow.
so they knew each other very well.
Oh, my gosh.
And they
you
lived
have
on the
such-
same street.
Are you serious?
In fact, his grandmother used to keep us. We'd leave Our Lady of Lewis school when my mom was still in college, and we would go sit on her porch until my mom came to pick us up, or come inside when it was raining. She'd always treat us just like we were part of the family.
Really? Dr. King's grandma? Wow.
Everybody was their brother's keeper during those days.
Yes.
Yes, and sister's keeper. They would always help each other.
Wow.
They spank you too if you were bad.
Well, that's what happened in our neighborhood too.
and
It
then you
wasn't-
get another spanking
when you got home. So it wasn't. We didn't have famous Dr. King. We just had Mrs. Sutherland and people on the street. Then my brother stole some candy one time from the penny candy store, whatever they call it.
Yes.
Mr.
in the
Layton.
neighborhood.
And they told. And so Mr. Layton didn't say anything. He told somebody else. By the time my brother got home, he had 2 spankings, and he got in the house. And mother spanked him, and he had to take the candy back and apologize to Mr. Layton.
Oh, yes.
But he
I
had
know
eaten
how
up
that
half
is.
of it before he got home. I'm telling on Atlee.
I know.
But yes, ma'am. So those are the kind of neighborhoods, where you felt like was a neighborhood. Sometimes you move in these big subdivisions and you don't know your neighbors or the people across
you
the
don't
street
even
from
know
you.
the names of your next door
Yeah.
neighbors or the
Yeah.
people directly in front of you.
Yeah.
So I made it a habit to go meet new people in the community.
Oh, good.
So I did it for a long time, and I bring them a little flower or
That's
something.
nice.
And this is even before I became state senator.
Mm-hmm.
That might have even helped because
probably, I'm sure.
I came and met so many people before I was asking them to vote for me. And that
Yes,
was
ma'am.
years before that.
Wow. Okay, so we're going to get to state senate, but you have all these deep roots in Atlanta with these famous civil rights icons.
Yes.
So Jesse Jackson, Ambassador Andrew Young, Maynard Jackson, and of course your family member, the first African American to become senator in the state of Georgia, Leroy Johnson, because your maiden name is Johnson. So just tell us just a little bit about those famous people. And Shirley Chisholm, 11 years you worked with Shirley Chisholm.
The first thing that she gave me was a book that she had written called Unbought and Unbossed. She gave me a personal autograph book.
Unbought and Unbossed. That's
and I said,
tight.
wow.
I like it.
I love it, and
Yes.
that was what I read it over and over again, and that's what I try to live my political life as being unbought by the other folk, unbossed, just committed to the people and not the politics.
All
That's-
right. I
and
need to
it's-
look on Amazon for that book. I hope they have it in
Oh
print
yes,
still.
they do.
Okay,
They
I
do.
need to buy that.
And it's awesome. Yes, and she was an
Wow.
awesome woman. And I'm so glad I got a chance to meet her long after she had retired from Congress.
Yes, ma'am.
Everything, but she was starting an organization called the National Political Congress of Black Women, and it still exists.
Wow.
It's the National Political Congress. Now, it's not of Black women because it's everybody that's
Yes.
political that's a member.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's a strong organization.
Wow. So she came to Spelman College,
Yes, to
and
teach.
you were to teach, and you were recommended
By
from
the national president of the
union.
National Political Congress of the National Alliance of Postal and Federal Employees.
Okay.
And his name was Robert White.
Okay.
And I had worked with the union,
Yes, ma'am.
and as a result, he knew me. He said, Donzella James can come help you and help you put that together. So we had thousands of women from all over the country
Wow.
to come to Spelman to see what she was talking about. And they were political. They were in so many different offices. I was one of the few that was not in office. But we had Black women that were in all
10,000 women, I
oh,
understand.
Yes, more. Yes.
Wow.
And it was so wonderful. We all met, and then somebody put my name in for me to run for the national secretary.
Wow.
I said, okay, well, I said, so you don't have to be an elected official. They said, no, you're one of the founding members, so you can. So I ran and won. 11 years I was there.
Wow.
And then I served on the board, and the other person that got elected from Atlanta was Abel Mabel Thomas.
Of course, Abel
And we,
Mabel.
we were two little young folk, and
Oh,
we
my
we both,
goodness,
at that time,
Senator.
we were so young, and we got
Wow.
elected. And perhaps that's why we both ended up in politics.
Yes, ma'am. Wow, that is such a rich history. And you worked for Maynard Jackson.
Oh, yes.
And-
I really thought the world of him. He was just a man of integrity. He was a great speaker, and he really cared about people. So I was happy to meet this big guy
Yes.
who, was just helping everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I could see why people continued to vote for him. But we had, after working with I call him my uncle, but he's really my dad's cousin, Leroy Johnson, he would be, have us out on the street corners passing out leaflets.
Oh, my goodness.
We said vote for my daddy. We didn't say vote for And people would, because other people, adults try to hand something to them. No, I don't want that, or throw it down. Well, when we handed it to him, they said, oh, thank you.
Yes.
And they would read it, and he won. He didn't win. He was running for mayor at first. He didn't win that. But when he ran for state senate, he won, and he was the first African-American since Reconstruction to win that seat.
Leroy Johnson. Excellent.
And he still lives.
Are you serious?
Yes, he still has a law firm.
I need to meet him.
He's in his 80s. He's
Can
a
I
young,
meet him?
Yes.
I'd love to meet him. Just
I
to
would
sit
love
at his
to.
feet.
Oh, yes. I would love to introduce you to him.
Wow,
Yes.
Senator James, that's excellent.
And I think our Black Caucus is honoring him next year,
Oh,
this coming
wow.
session,
Wow.
during this coming session.
That's great.
At our Heritage Dinner.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Because
Now,
he was
see-
one of the founding members of our Black Caucus
And we
for
have
the
the largest Black caucus
in the nation. And I'm an officer.
Georgia.
I'm really proud. I've always been an integral part, so I just made sure I participate, and then I run for some kind of office so I can give more time to.
Yes, ma'am. So you were first elected to the Senate in 1993.
93. I won the unexpired term of Arthur Langford when he passed away, and I knew him from Morris Brown. We were friends,
Okay.
and I did all that I could to try to honor him
Yes, ma'am.
and give a tribute. So I named 166 after him.
Oh.
And that's the Langford Parkway.
It sure is. I didn't know
So I
that
made
was
sure-
for. Okay.
Because that was, all of that area at that time was his district.
I see.
And so when he passed away, and he had served us well, plus he was a minister of the gospel. And he had a church over near the Atlanta University campus.
Okay.
Yeah, where Clark, Morehouse, Spelman, and Morris Brown all were there. He had a little white church right there.
Oh, okay.
And he was,
great history.
Yes, he was young, and he did get sick, and he died.
Oh, that's
So
sad.
I was proud to I wasn't trying to fill his shoes, but I wanted to get there and help people. We had worked together during the missing and murdered children
Yes.
era and so many other things. So we got a chance, I got a chance to continue his legacy.
Excellent. Well, you have built your own legacy now.
Thank you.
Oh, my goodness. It's so, you helped us in Douglas County with Melvin Johnson naming that.
Definitely. Yes, I was very honored to present that legislation, and we passed it.
Yes, ma'am.
And named the bridge after him.
Yes, ma'am.
And he was worthy of getting that, and so I was so happy to do it.
Yes, ma'am. The first African American to lose his life from Douglas County in the Vietnam
In
War.
the Vietnam War.
Yes, so thank you for that. And you do so much for us. You're, of course, the senator for District 35, and that is inclusive of Douglas County. You have a heart in Douglas County because your son is here and your grandchildren.
Yes.
And so,
And I'm right on the border.
Okay.
'Cause I'm right off of 92 and
Oh.
where the Fulton County and the Douglas County lines come together.
okay, well, we
I've
adopt
lived
you. We're
there
going to take you
forever.
in. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
You could annex me over.
Yeah, there you go.
Annex one little block over there.
We love to have you. So
I
speaking
still
about
claim it anyway.
there you go.
But my son, I say I spent all my money in Douglas County, so I might as well say I live in Douglas
I
County.
know. You are always here and you're always working. I don't know when you have time to rest. You know, we talked about Ambassador Young,
Yes.
and you now are an ambassador. I mean, you've been to several countries. Can you tell us something about that? I know I see you on Facebook, and you're always being honored. And in fact, this past week, you were honored by the new city of South Fulton, a proclamation that is Donzella James Day. The senator, what? You
That
helped
was-
with that cityhood for Renaissance or South Fulton or what, you know, the name that they're going to
For years living in that area, I knew we had all of the commissioners that would vote on everything that happened to our area,
Right.
and with our tax dollars, and we shared it with all of
Fulton.
from Alpharetta all the way down. And I said, well, why don't we become a city? So I had worked many years to try to
Oh.
have us become a city.
I see.
And so when the legislation was put in, I put in legislation, and so did Roger Bruce.
Yes.
And his was moving faster, and they were exactly the same. So when he got signatures on his side, but when it came to our side, to the Senate side, we had to go through the committee process
Oh, I see.
because we didn't have everybody wanting who had a portion of that area wanting to sign it.
Yeah.
So we had to go for a year and a half,
Wow.
back and forth from one committee to the other, back and forth. And we were fighting for it. Then we finally got it on the floor.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And I had to pray that would pass.
Yes, ma'am.
So we finally passed it, and then the referendum got on the next ballot, and people voted overwhelmingly for the new city.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's just 7 months old now.
Yes, your baby.
It's my baby.
Yes. Oh, my goodness.
So I was very surprised when they honored me. I got on the transition committee because the governor put me on that committee and wanted me to work to help put the city together. So it was really like my baby.
Yeah. Wow.
Because we did work night and day to try to get everything ready to give to whoever the people voted for mayor and city council. So once they were elected, we passed everything to them.
Yes, ma'am.
And they're continuing to move forward. But it's growing pains.
Of course.
Everywhere.
Yes. And
even
they're
with a business, if you
That's
start
right.
a business doesn't just make millions the first year. You
That's
have
right.
to progressively move forward.
That's right.
And that's what they're doing.
They're going to be fine. They have great leaders, and their mayor is, I mean, he has so much experience. He was a commissioner for years. And
we worked together. We had the same area.
Oh.
Hayfield, East Point, College Park, Union City, Fairburn, Palmetto.
What?
All of Fulton. And I still have a large portion of that area in my 35th Senate District.
Very good. So you want to give us the jurisdictional lines, just in case people don't know, it's Fulton and Douglas.
Fulton and Douglas County. So I have all of Union City, Fairburn, Palmetto, and a little bit of those other cities in South Fulton.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
all of the new city of South Fulton.
Oh, very good.
Which is now Renaissance, Georgia. They voted on that name. But I'm proud that all of Douglas County, except for Villa Rica, is in the 35th district.
Very good.
And for years, I've represented since '93, since '94.
Oh, wow.
But I only had
Yeah.
all of Lithia Springs and a small portion of the city until about 8 years ago, and then they changed it.
Yes, ma'am.
So then I was able to now I said, I claim all. I told Dugan, I told Senator Dugan, I'm just letting you share one or two little precincts.
Oh, my
we
goodness.
fuss all the time.
Yeah, he's a good guy, too.
Yeah, we work together, and
Yes,
I
ma'am.
like working with the whole delegation in Douglas County.
Very
no
good.
matter what our parties are, we still work together.
That's right.
Because we all concentrating on the best of Douglas County.
That's right. Well, thank you for your service. We
You're
really
very
appreciate it.
welcome.
Now I'm going to talk to you about some of the bills that are, you've done many bills that you've influenced and that you've had passed. But this, most recently, Senate Bill 145, and then Senate Bill 104. So if you can talk to us about Senate Bill 105, which is dealing with the rape, how that's defined, and then 104, which is human trafficking, and you were able to bring the junior councilman along with you, not councilman, Representative William
State
Bodie,
representative,
for that
yes.
slide bill. So 145.
Yeah. Well, I've passed. I've had a really great opportunity to introduce good legislation and pass so many, because I passed over 400 pieces of legislation during my entire tenure.
400.
Which is 2 times.
Goodness gracious.
Probably more than most people.
Jeez Louise.
But I wasn't counting, because I think I stopped as much bad legislation, because some legislation is really bad.
Okay.
But this year we had, and we still have the 145, SB 145, and that is a bill about rape. I have been working with all of the students on campuses because rape has been an issue now for almost a decade.
Yes, ma'am.
And so we have worked with the young women on getting them self-defense courses and strengthening the rape law. But there was a big flaw in the law. It doesn't include men. It only includes women in the state of Georgia.
Oh.
So I said, this is why. Rape is rape.
That's right.
They call it sexual assault or whatever. So I got with some of the Morehouse students, Georgia Tech, Georgia State, and the University of Georgia. They come all together to say, we want men included, because they're even raping men.
Oh, my goodness.
So why don't they call it rape?
Oh, my goodness.
So we did have many hearings. We've moved it along. And so hopefully in this session, we can pass this bill to add rape. And the good thing that has happened is that I also shared it with some of the congresspersons, and they passed it this time. So it's passed on the federal level. The city of Atlanta, I see, also took that bill and implemented it with their Atlanta police because it is a real law now, federal law.
Wow.
So now all we need to do is pass it on this level. And I have advocates from the advocates for the adolescents who are imprisoned. They said these boys are getting raped, and then they pointed out another thing. This bill, Senate Bill 145, my bill will also help young women.
Wow.
Because young women are being raped in these juvenile facilities and places too.
Isn't that terrible?
By other women.
Wow.
Not just men. Sometimes men. So now same sex is not considered rape. So with this bill, it will be.
It will be.
So that's one thing. And then of course, human trafficking is what I'm always thinking about. So this past session, I was able to pass a bill that would put a notice in every bathroom.
We have one in ours.
Yes. They sent it to all of. I said, let's put our money where our mouth is. Let's add all the government buildings and the, on their websites as well.
Wow.
Because people use it, and even IRS. I said we need to let folk know that if you're being trafficked or you know someone who's being held against their will, please give them this number. They say we've gotten over 6,000 calls.
Wow.
We've helped at least 100 people, literally. Since May,
what a blessing.
When the bill got signed in May of this year.
Jeez
2 months ago.
Oh my goodness.
7 months now.
Oh my goodness. And I know Atlanta is a place where they bring a lot of.
Yes, we're number one in the nation now, in the world rather.
Really?
We have the world's largest airport. You know, you see what happened yesterday.
Oh my goodness.
The lights went out and it just crippled the whole country.
Yes.
Because flights come in and out of Atlanta all day long. So it's crippled the air business, all over.
Wow.
But anyway, they have, what we wanted to do is to make sure that we address this problem, not just in the bathrooms of a truck stop or whatever, but that included that too.
Oh, good.
But that notice is there, and they can call.
Oh, what a blessing!
And so in the airplane, the Delta and some of the other places are putting it on the airplanes.
Oh.
And they've had some people to say,
"Oh, really?
I'm being held against my will."
Oh my goodness!
So now they're training the airline flight attendants and others to recognize this and report it if they hear about it.
Wow.
So I think that we could
is
at least
remarkable.
help some people, and it did pass. I'm so proud of it.
Yes.
But on that same bill, the slider bill.
Yes.
Thing, and on the last day, they said, "Can we put this on your bill?" Because the other bill hadn't gotten over here yet, and anything that's not passed here on this 40th day won't pass. I said, I don't know. Let me make sure it's not going to hurt my bill.
I know it.
But when I read it, I said, oh, yes. Sure enough, it did pass with that bill on it. And what happens now, and it is helping, it's made a felony now for people to slide in your car while you pumping gas or when you go inside to pay. They've been kidnapping people's children and everything because they don't look to see if somebody else is in there.
Goodness.
They just drive off, and if they see an adult, they put them out.
So it's beyond carjacking now.
It's beyond that. So the slider bill is working, but I think that many municipalities don't know about it, so they haven't put the fear of God in these people. This is not a game anymore.
I know it.
This is people's lives
and
well-being. So we're trying to make sure, and I was so proud of Bodie for putting that bill in and for pushing it. And I think your DA here helped him to write it up.
Understand that too.
And together they worked together on it. And I just took up the rear and let it ride on my bill.
Well, it's your reputation, see.
Thank you.
If you attach to Senator James, something is going to happen.
Thank
oh
you.
My goodness. So you have, oh my gosh, so much You've done so much. We really
We
appreciate
got
all of your
HOA
time.
bill coming up too.
Okay, now tell me about that bill.
There's some HOAs that are in Douglas County
Mm-hmm.
that are very upset that they're getting liens on their property.
Oh, yes.
And they said that they've been paying, and they'll say you didn't pay, and then they have to go to court, so they have to get a lawyer and prove that they paid, and then that's it. Now, if this bill passes, then the HOA is going to have to pay for a lawyer if you have to go through all that process.
Okay.
So they need to keep better records too. And also, they can't just steal your house because you refuse to pay because it's a real problem. You have an opportunity to now have arbitration and go before them to say, yeah, I'm protesting because you haven't put the park in here.
Oh, I see. Yeah, all those amenities that you said.
When I signed
Yeah.
this covenant to move
Right.
in here, you were going to put bicycle trails,
Yeah.
a swimming pool,
Pools, tennis
yeah,
courts,
all of
yeah.
this, and then none of it is here.
Right.
And I'm here years later, and I'm still paying for it. So until you do it, I don't want to pay. So some of the people have been doing that. So now they've signed a contract, and they aren't able to get out of it. So we're trying to put something in the law that will allow the homeowners justice when it comes to HOAs. Some HOAs are excellent.
Yes.
And they're doing a great job. And we need them. So we don't want to abolish them at all.
Right.
We just want to make sure that it's fair on both sides.
That's great.
So that bill is pending as well. I've already introduced it.
Senator James. I don't even know what to say.
And I'm working with Bodie on that one too because it has to go through the House.
Oh, it has to go through the House too. Oh my goodness. Okay. Criminal justice, political science is your degrees.
Yes.
And you're a cute lady. How you gonna be in criminal justice? But that's what you're doing, really. I mean,
It's always
a lot of
been-
your bills, it seems to be that they're at the heart of the matter. For
I
people.
originally wanted to work for the FBI. And I was going to accept the scholarship to Howard University that I had
Bison's.
received and go and work in Washington with the FBI. But my sister, who was a senior at Spelman, decided that she was going to have her first child.
Oh, okay.
So I needed to stay here and help her because she's not going to be able to stay at home.
Oh my goodness.
So I love my sister and I love my niece. I'm so
you would
glad
be
I did it. So I took Morris Brown's scholarship and then I worked for the federal government here. So it was still in my heart to work in law enforcement.
Yes, ma'am.
And so that's why I took criminal justice. But then after a while, I was in a job and I wasn't doing well in it. So
Right.
I decided I better go and get certified to be an educator. And that's how I got with the Atlanta Public Schools. I had to go back and get certification.
Yes.
But they hired me till that point.
Wow.
Because I had a degree already.
Oh my goodness. See all these lives you've had, everything that you influenced?
And most people say, how did you do all that? I was very young.
Now you got married.
Got married at 18.
Yes, my mother did too.
So, I was 17 when I was dating her. So, and I was in college then. I was, in my second year at that point. Because, now they have dual enrollment.
Yes.
But they had early admission or a double admission at the time that I was in school.
Okay.
So you could go to school, and I had finished all of my credits, so I was able to.
Smarty pants. No.
I had a mom and
That's
dad
great.
that were with
they were
public school.
educators.
They were educators.
Yes.
And if we didn't do our work, we didn't do anything. We couldn't go anywhere. We couldn't do. So
Do
from
you
the
hear
very
that,
beginning,
kids? No.
from the very beginning,
my
we
gosh.
made my 5 sisters and I
Wow.
always read, studied. Oh boy! Now these
Senator
kids
James.
get iPads and play games and all of that. We studied and read and enjoyed it.
Yes.
We
Reading
made
takes
our
you to a
own
world.
paper dolls if
That's
we wanted to do
right.
something cute,
Yeah.
and girly. Make them and make the clothes to fit them, and you have
Wow.
to almost do geometry
Exactly.
to do.
To get them,
you know, to
fit 'em.
fit.
Yes, yes.
So, and then we weren't planning on being designers. We
Wow.
just wanted to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Good, clean fun.
Yes, ma'am.
And my dad worked also with the Atlanta, with the boys club and the girls club.
Uh-huh.
In fact, he was over the boys club on Bankhead Highway, which
Okay.
is Hollowell now.
Mm-hmm.
So he, from the
Hollowell
time
is.
that they built it.
Uh-huh.
And so we have so many people that they say they are our sisters and brothers.
Yes.
Your daddy raised me.
How beautiful is
And
that?
your daddy spanked my tail. And I said, I know, because he practiced at home on us.
It paid off.
If we didn't do right, we knew we were going to get it.
I know it.
And it didn't. They were not child abusers, but
That's
I think
right. Oh,
according
it's
to the law
smart.
now,
Well,
they might be in jail.
No. They were administering discipline.
That's
like the
it.
Bible says, spoil not the
That's
rod, spare the rod, spoil the child. So
That's
you
right.
have to discipline, and you need discipline in life.
That's true.
Not only in the military, but
That's
in
true.
life, to get to your job on time, to finish assignments. They're not watching over you because you do what you're supposed to do. So,
and
good
the
training.
children really need to learn that now. There are so many young people who get these jobs and then they have to quit after 2 or 3 months because they've been late 3 or 4 times, or they don't feel like they want to do this job anymore. Somebody's looking for a job and wants this job.
I know
and
it.
these young kids get out of school, they call themselves the millennials.
Yeah.
I want to work for myself. And there's nothing wrong with the millennials, because a lot of them, they have good ideas.
They do.
But they want something too fast sometimes.
Microwave society.
That's it.
Yeah.
Very good. I like that.
Microwave. Because,
That's exactly what
my
it is.
grandmother warmed up everything in the skillet, and you separated all the...
Yes.
You
But
just
now
put a
they put
microwave,
it in
boop.
there, and they put 30 seconds on it, and
It's
they
over.
want it right there.
That's right. So it's tough. So you got married young, and can you just talk to me about your husband?
Yes.
He was such a great man, a great supporter. He would beam when you were around, and people honor you all the time, but he really was your strength. You could tell.
And he was really a brilliant man. He got a full paid scholarship to Morehouse College, and he was smart all the way through school, and he could just about do whatever. He was an air traffic controller. He made 99 on the air traffic control test.
All that stress.
So, yeah, he was.
Ooh, and he handled it.
I know.
Wow.
Sometime it come back to you years
Yeah,
later. Who knows? Because he was a strong man, and strong-willed, and he supported me, and I supported him.
Oh,
and we, after he was air traffic controller for 14 years, then he became a store owner with his brother.
Oh.
So they had a convenience store and liquor store.
Okay.
I probably don't.
Spirituous, you take a hot toddy when you have a cold. They need the people for the hot toddy.
And I think the reason we did so well because we didn't drink.
Right.
So we didn't touch the product.
That's right.
And I never did
gosh.
sell. And then we lost my son to a drunk driver. So
Oh my goodness.
I really didn't even want to be in that business anymore.
Yeah. So
It
you
was
have a
just-
bill about that, though. Your son's name was Kerry Allen. And so could you
Yes,
the mother's
my
against
first
drunk
year in the
driving.
Senate, my son was leaving home to go to the store for my husband. And he got to Camp Creek and Butner Road, and an 18-wheeler flatbed tow truck crashed into him and killed him.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
And the guy had 5 previous DUIs, but he refused to take the test. There was so many flaws in the system in Georgia. But they took him to graders anyway because he reeked of alcohol, and beer cans were falling out of the cab of the truck, the vehicle. And the police took him, so they tried not to use it in the court case, but they had to.
Yeah.
They found a way to use it because he was literally drunk. And he said, I didn't mean to do it.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a life.
it's a life. It's to me, if you drink and drive and you already had 5 DUIs, meaning he's been driving probably 100 times under the influence. He just got caught 5 times before that. He had maimed somebody in one of those 5 DUIs too. That's still in a wheelchair.
Lord have mercy.
So I mean, this guy is still out there on the road. To me, that's like somebody just drive by shooting, bang, bang, bang. Whoever come by, because to me, getting behind the wheel, that was murder. To me. And that's so I didn't. Even though I forgave him as a person, I still couldn't forget what he had done.
Yeah, so you worked with MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers.
Mothers Against Drunk Driving came to our rescue and worked with us, the victims assistance program that they had. And as a result, the man was charged and finally, after going to court, I don't know how many times, he got a sentence. But he didn't serve but 2 years. He got out because he gave federal evidence on some kind of drug something. And so he was able to get out years early. And I saw him in a restaurant.
Oh, really?
And couldn't believe it. I said, wait a minute, it's only been 2 years. He can't be out. And I walked over to him, and it was him. I was hoping it wasn't. And he said, I didn't mean to do it. Why you keep bothering me? I ain't mean to do it. He had a beer jug on his table. And he and another guy was sitting there. And that was empty, and they were bringing another one, a pitcher. I said, I don't believe this. And then I was about to scream. I went to the ladies' room so he wouldn't see me crying. And called my husband, who was at work, and told him he was in there. And he said, are you sure? I said, yes. And so then I went back, and he was paying his bill and rushing out. So I went to the front door, and I saw both of them. 2 different vehicles. They had been sitting there driving. He had lost his license for life. He was still driving. So I saw another flaw that I had to change. But I made it a felony to drive after the 3rd DUI as a felony.
Okay.
So I couldn't bring Carrie back, but I changed the laws and strengthened. Now Georgia has some of the strongest DUI laws.
That's good.
But it's still not enough because still too many people driving under the influence.
Hopefully we can get some of those people, like the drug courts, we can get them some help.
And I was part of those kind of courts, drug court, the family court, all of this.
Great.
So I'm proud that my name is on that legislation that passed. They created those.
Oh, great.
And they are doing well, especially in Douglas County.
Yeah, they are doing
so
very well.
Proud
because it's a disease a lot of
it's
times.
It's a disease.
But it doesn't take away the consequences. In our family, we had a tragedy with my cousin married a guy, and my uncle had just come back from Vietnam, and he was drunk, and he killed my uncle. And so, it affects the entire family. And although he didn't mean it, every time it's time for parole, someone from the family goes, to talk to the parole board about
so they won't let him out.
Yeah, because we were having a picnic. I wasn't there. My family was on the way, but he just shot our uncle, and the kids were there. My grandmother saw her son die, and this guy, he didn't remember because he was intoxicated, and they were playing around, talking about Vietnam. But still, it affects.
So unfortunate.
It's a tragedy all around.
It truly is.
The victim's family, the person who's done it, and it's long lasting.
I had Safe Drivers Awareness Day every year for years. Since I've been in the legislature, to put it on everybody's mind that you have to don't drink and don't drive. And just do that. Get a designated
whether
driver.
It's a sickness or not, just don't do it.
Program too that we suggested, and then now it's helping so many. Now is no excuse. They can Uber or Lyft.
Yes.
They can call a service, and it's not that much money. So you're going to go out and party, then you need to have an account with Uber or with Lyft and get a call if you don't have a designated driver. You don't have to say, well, it's not but a few miles from my house.
Right.
You don't have to even that. My son wasn't even 3 miles from my house when he got killed.
Wow.
So
well, hopefully that story will impact someone and help them to change if they make a bad choice not to do that. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for sharing that with me. I know it's not easy,
It's not easy after all these years. He was a
Yes,
senior
ma'am.
at Westlake High School at the time.
Oh, my gosh.
They put a big plaque up, and when he was to graduate that same year, they had a cap and gown and the chair. And,
Oh, that's nice.
all of that's beautiful and good memories. But
Yeah. Not a replacement of the person. Yeah. So hopefully someone will listen to this, especially young people, so that they don't go down that road and make that a habit, because you don't know how much it impacts someone.
I did the Teenage Responsibility Act, and that changed all of the driving, the learner's license and all of that to older age, because I felt that 13 wasn't old enough. 16 not old enough.
I know
for
that's
me,
right.
But we at least changed it
Oh,
to
great.
to make more. Yes, all that was changed in memory of my son, and I added some
Wow.
other people's names too, who I had met, the mothers or families from MAD, from Mothers Against Drunk Driving. I met these other people, so we put their names on some of this legislation too.
Beautiful. Thank
But
you,
we were
Senator
able
James.
to change it, and every year we think of something else. The breathalyzer.
Yeah.
Every year I say, what else can we do?
Yes.
Because sometimes you have to just chip away at the problem.
That's
and
right.
then maybe one day it won't be a problem.
That's right. You change your tragedy to triumph,
Yes.
so that is excellent. We appreciate that.
Thank
And I don't want to I want to go on a high note, so I just want to talk about your husband's homegoing. Oh my goodness. I was there, and it was like a star-studded
Thank you.
event.
Thank you for
Dottie
coming.
Peoples, Gladys Knight started singing. I said, they went to the same high school?
Yeah.
So I was nudging my husband. I said, is that the real Gladys Knight? But her voice is so unmistakable. And it was such a great celebration. Oh my goodness.
They grew up together. They were little kids together.
Yes.
And I always heard about Gladys Knight. They're a few years older than me. He was 7 years older than me. But that's my buddy. So I got a chance to meet her and all over the years.
And
But,
Dottie
yeah.
Peoples too, singing.
Oh, I love Dottie Peoples.
Ooh-wee.
And that was his favorite singer. She would
Oh.
give him gospel CDs back then and everything. So yeah, he had the tapes and all. And when he became ill and had to go in Christian City nursing home, he would play that music. Everybody want to come hear Dottie Peoples singing in the room.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
but she thought the world of him too.
Yes,
and,
ma'am.
and she is our friend.
Very good. It was, oh my gosh, it was such a great celebration.
Jean Carn,
Yes, okay, that was so many people there.
she sung too.
Wow.
Yeah,
That was
she's-
just a great celebration for a great man. And I know
you.
that, you all made
he
a
finished
power.
Morehouse, and she was at Spelman and Morris
Oh.
Brown and all of those colleges.
Wow.
You at one time you could interchange and take courses on different campuses.
At the AU Center? You could, okay, I didn't know that.
So you got a chance to see somebody from all the different colleges.
Wow, Samuel Jackson and his
Yeah,
wife
and
went to
his wife.
Morehouse and Spelman.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they were in the drama group together. They're friends.
Oh.
I know her anyway.
Wow, so many.
She went to Harper High School that last year I was
Oh, okay.
there. LaTanya Richardson,
Yes.
then Jackson.
Wow.
But they fell in love early
Yes.
when they first started college,
Wow.
and they're still together.
Isn't that a blessing?
That's a real blessing.
Wow. Now, how many years were you married before Mr. Elmo went to see the Lord, be with the Lord?
40 years.
40 years. Shoo.
It was going to be 40.
I got a fan on that one.
Yeah, he died in April, and it would have been 40 August the 10th.
Wow.
So
So what's your secret? What was you all secret?
we just loved and respected each other.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
honored each other.
That's a blessing.
And we tried not to ever go to bed mad with each
Yeah,
other.
that's what our pastor told us.
And always talk it out, even if you don't disagree agreeably, or plan to talk about it later and not be all upset over it. So respect each other. Okay, that's the way you feel, this is the way I feel. We'll talk about the differences.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so
That's a blessing.
we tried very, very hard.
You could tell.
And we worked hard, and we
Yeah.
supported each other.
Yes, you can tell.
So
It was a beautiful relationship. He's still in your memory. So
He's
I
my
want to-
angel now.
That's your angel watching over you
That's
on your
right.
shoulder.
I got one, and my
His
son is
son.
on the other side. They my
Aw.
redbirds too,
Aw.
because redbirds came all in my yard when my son died, and then they had
Oh.
gone away. And when my husband died, same thing. That a
Wow.
redbird, and they haven't left yet. They
Oh my
still all
goodness.
around.
And you have all that beautiful red.
I wore
You
red
looked at-
today.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, and is there anything that you want to talk to us about? You have so many inspirational stories. You know what? You need to write a book. You need to write your memoirs
Yes.
so that we can learn. And even, you bring people up with you. Hidden Figures, that movie that was out and won so many awards, that depicted those three African-American women that helped with the NASA and the space program. The one, Dorothy Vaughan,
Yes.
when she went to the IBM Center, they depicted in the movie with award winner Octavia Spencer that she said she wasn't going to take the promotion unless she can bring the women with her. They made a difference, and that's what you do.
Thank
You
you.
bring
I was
people
on the
with
radio
us.
as a teenager. I had a
Wow.
Saturday program for a while, and then I've had 3 radio shows over the years.
Wow.
And Radio Haitian Voice is one of them. So yes, and
Oh,
then
the
I had a
international
TV
stuff, yes.
I had a TV program, and then that's when I started working internationally. And then when I was at the Capitol for 8 years, and then I left to run for Congress. David Scott won. So,
Yeah.
but that same year, the United Nations had a committee, and they invited me to come there. And also I became an ambassador for peace. So I started going to all these different countries.
Wow.
And I've been to Israel 27 times.
Gosh.
South Korea, probably more than that. I kept filling up my passports and having to
Wow.
get a new one because I was going to so many places. But I got to go to places I had never even heard about. Just different countries, and sitting with prime ministers or presidents or diplomats on every level and talking about peace.
Yes, ma'am.
Or what we could do in their country, or how we could work together. And as a result of having to go to New York to the United Nations, I met a lot of African sisters and brothers, and they started inviting me over. And so then they would come here, and then I would welcome. By that time, I was in the Senate.
Yes.
And because I had gone back to the Senate after 7 years of being out, I was asked to run again. Kasim Reed had won my seat,
Yes.
my
'Cause he
old
was
seat,
our- he was
when
our
I
senator.
left. And then he wanted to run for mayor.
Right.
So when he wanted to run for mayor, they asked me if I would run again for the state senate, and I did. 12 people in the race, and then I won overwhelmingly. So, so I said, this must be what God wants me.
Definitely.
So as a result, I came back, and then I was able to help all these people from different countries.
Yes, ma'am.
And then just foster a stronger relationship. And I was on economic development, and I could share what I had learned in other countries, or what other countries, the products that they tried to import or export here. And I was always an advocate for dredging the port in Savannah, so that we could bring more trade, especially from Africa and the Middle East, over here, because they have precious resources, and they would be much cheaper than what we pay now. So, I had a bill, Senate Resolution number 9, that I passed in 2009. And it fosters a closer relationship between the motherland, all of Africa, and because on economic development, we have offices in different countries here in the state of Georgia, but they don't have any in the continental Africa.
Wow.
They had one years ago in Johannesburg, South Africa, but they had closed it up before I got back in the Senate. So when I came, I started advocating that we start doing more business with all of Africa. And I knew so many people in Nigeria and was going there. I was getting invited all the time. So I was helping to do trade missions myself. And the Senate Resolution number 9 also helped students from different colleges go from Africa to come here, and from here to go to Africa.
Beautiful.
So we had to start working with the students and then the ministries. And then I spoke at this Bride of Christ church school over there, and they had so many ministers that were graduating, and they hooded me.
Oh my God!
And gave me an honorary doctorate.
You have lots
and then
of
I
honorary
had
doctorates.
Yes. I already had one too from here, from Macon, Georgia, and I was just so honored to receive it. So they keep calling me Dr. Donzella James.
Praise God.
But I had worked very hard to get an earned doctorate, and my husband was so sick. So my last year, I just didn't do my dissertation. So my family say, you are a doctor.
That's right. That's right.
So so they have that on some of my literature, Dr. Donzella James, because of so many honorary doctorates, and I do have a master's.
Wow. Well, thank you, Dr. Donzella James, for everything that you've done and what you do for us, and you continue to stay on the front lines. Thank you for bringing us along with you. Thank you so much. You nominated me for a Lifetime Achievement Award from President Obama, and I received that. So I save that pen, especially when it's something very, very special, and I will never forget that. Thank you for being my friend.
And believe me, you really deserve being getting the award from Obama, President Obama. That's Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yes, ma'am.
And believe me, everybody could get that.
Well, it's because I say if you attach
special people,
Senator James to it,
that's
why I got it, because I
put your name in.
I know.
I wanted to because I thought I said,
Thank
wow,
you.
Our mayor has done all these great things too.
Thank you.
So we just been talking about me today.
Oh,
we can talk about you for hours.
We're going to come back and do part 2 because we have so many more things to talk about. But I really want you to do a book. So we need to get it together. You know, all kinds of people. But just to bring all that history up to now and for people to see what you've done and what you're going to continue to do. You have many, many years left to do great things. So.
Well, I had said for many times that I would write some poetry books. I have hundreds and hundreds of poems that I've written over the years. So I said maybe I'll go through them and put that out. I don't know. But I also wanted to, I started writing a book years ago called A Stroll Down Sweet Auburn.
I like
because
that.
We would leave the Catholic Church and have to go all the way to Big Bethel and pass Ebenezer, Wheat Street Baptist, this little sanctified church. Then go to Yates and Milton Drugstore.
Oh my goodness!
We were supposed to go straight down there and go to Big Bethel to my grandmother, but instead me and my sisters, we would stop all those places. So that's why I say I'm a sanctified Catholic. I went to every church, and even today people say, oh, I know you used to go to my church. Wow, you're a member of my church because we went in there so much.
That's sweet. Beautiful.
So it was always good, but it gave me a chance to be sort of interfaith and to understand all the different religions, even Muslim faith. I necessarily don't agree with everything that many of the faiths do, but I respect them, and I'm very happy that I had a chance to go to so many countries and so many different cultures and so many different religions, and going to Israel, tracing the steps of Jesus Christ, but also going to the Dome of the Rock. Even though they still made the women sit in the back and everything, I just wanted to experience.
Yes, ma'am.
And I went to the wall,
the Wailing Wall.
Yes,
yes.
And put my notes in.
Oh my goodness!
And saw everyone, all the Jewish people there and praying. And I said my own prayers in my own way, but I stayed there. I felt so peaceful.
That's what they say.
It was so beautiful. And so I made sure that every time I visited, I took at least a day or two so I could go to the Wailing Wall, so I could go to Bethlehem, so I could just go where they thought Calvary was, where they had hung Jesus. I just wanted to go again to the upper room.
Ooh, all right now.
You need to go with me there.
Yeah, I would love to. Please let me know next time.
I'll be your ingenue.
I'll carry the suitcases.
But when I went to the upper room, I had never thought of, I was Catholic. I wasn't thinking about speaking in tongues or anything. But I started praying, and it seemed like the ceiling was opening, and I looked up, and I could have sworn it was a big angel over me.
Lord have mercy.
And then they said I just, one of the preachers came over from another group and said, put his hand on my head, and they say I fell back. You know how they do in church? And started speaking in tongues. I said, if they hadn't recorded it, I wouldn't believe it.
Wow.
I said, no, I didn't.
Wow.
I said, well, I know that was a place of God, so it wasn't anything else
beautiful.
that wasn't of God. But
amen.
It was a wonderful experience that I think that changed my life.
Praise God.
I came back, and my husband was with me. He got baptized again in the River Jordan at the place where they think that Jesus was baptized by John the Baptist. Right in that same area. And, my husband was very sick then.
Yeah.
He was on a cane and everything, but when he left the cane in the hotel room.
Oh, my goodness.
He got back here, and for over a year, he wasn't very ill anymore. He had gotten better.
Jesus.
And he said, somebody said it's all in the mind. He said, no, it was God.
Amen.
So he was strong.
Well, that's a wonderful note for us to leave on part 2. Would you come back and see me?
Thank you. Anytime.
I love you. Thank you so much. Take care.
God bless you. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
I love
You
what
too.
you're doing for
Yes,
Douglasville.
ma'am. If you need me for anything, let me know, and I'll carry your suitcases wherever you want to go.
Well, the session is going to start the second Monday in January. I think that's the 8th. So let me know what Douglasville needs and all of Douglas County, because I'm here for you.
Yes, ma'am. God bless you. Thank you.
you.
You're welcome. It's been another edition of Positively Douglasville. We thank you for your time. God bless you.